Hello, my friends. My name is Claire, and you stumbled upon Porch Coffee, so please stick around. Hi, friends. My name is Claire, and this is my channel, Woodshed Theory. Here, I make content about what it is like to live as an adult on the autism spectrum and whatever else feels good to me. So if that sounds good to you, or if you're feeling particularly gracious today, and I hope that you are, please go ahead and click the subscribe button, ring the bell. I almost forgot to mention that I put out videos a few times a week, so click the like and the share. A beautiful day to you, my friends. If you're new here, I'm a late diagnosed autistic lady who has coffee with you on Monday mornings. Why? Well, because when you are autistic, sometimes it can be hard for you to make friends. It is for me. It's hard for me to make friends and maintain them. So I come here on Monday mornings and have coffee with you and tell you about my week. And then in the comments you can tell me about your week. And there you have it. Internet friends. Urgent update about the Mug Club. Urgent. I don't know if you noticed. Let's zoom in. It's the same number as last week. No about a bug this week. I'm teasing, guys. This happens from time to time, if you can believe it. If you would like to support me and my channel and join the Mug Club, hashtag Mug Club, you can go to woodshedtheory.com and get your own porch coffee mug and have porch coffee with us on Monday mornings. There are several types of mugs to choose from, even a sticker, and then we can all matchy-matchy. It's really great. However, there is never any pressure to buy a mug unless you really want to. Mug Club is in our hearts, so if you want to be a Mug Club, you're a Mug Club. How was your week? Mine was fine. Everything all the same all of the time. I think first I should use my idioms. Is it an idiom to say, address the elephant in the room? Is that the word I'm looking for? I sometimes struggle to use them, so I should probably know. Yes, there was not an Autistic People Talking episode this week. And yes, I did tell you last week during Porch Coffee that there would be an Autistic People Talking episode. It had to be rescheduled. I think just last week I was saying I don't like to share the names of who is going to be on the podcast, what the schedule is going to be, because it's so subject to change, and that's just the way it is. It's going to be that way no matter what kind of podcast it is. People have schedules and things need to shift around. So, sorry about that. I do have a guest schedule for this week, so hopefully there will be another episode this week. Thanks for understanding. I just wanted to talk about it in case you were looking for it and wondering if there was like some big conspiracy. There's not. Conspiracy? Why not? Nobody was wondering that, Claire. They were just wondering maybe why it wasn't, it didn't happen yet. So yeah, that's it. That's it. Rescheduling. Ooh, this coffee is good today. I know a lot of people drink coffee while they listen to me, but so many people don't. So if you're out there drinking an orange juice or a tea or a water or a regulated beverage of some sort, I salute you. What a rebel. I drink coffee in the morning to an extent where I would look for it. I automatically get up and make a cup of coffee. It's something that I love, drinking coffee in the morning. And then when coffee time is over, I'm a little bummed. But I don't drink coffee really in the afternoon, only because of like bothering sleep. But I'll still drink soda. So I drink too much caffeine, which is probably not the best for, when I say probably not the best, for somebody who has an anxiety disorder, OCD, not a good idea for me. I know it's not a good idea to drink a bunch of caffeine, And I wish that I would take better care of myself. I struggle with the idea of cutting my morning coffee, my morning like moment of zen out, because then what's it all for? I really like I really like having my morning coffee. If I can't have just my morning coffee, just let me have it. In my mind, if you are a person who suffers from an anxiety disorder or mental illness or depression, you have to find the things that make it okay, and coffee is one of those things for me. I don't love that when I don't have it, it becomes an issue. I don't love that. I don't take like a tolerance break on coffee or caffeine. So when I don't have it and I get a headache, that to me is like the part where I pause and I'm like, okay, maybe I don't like to be dependent on it. Like, what if you go visit someone or you're out somewhere and they don't have coffee? If you've been in that situation, it's not the most pleasant situation to be in. And I always think, like, if you're visiting somewhere, the expectation should not be on the person to provide you with coffee if it's something that is that important. So in the past, like, I'll bring a little, if we're like going out camping or it's going to be a few days or we don't know what the situation is, pack the coffee, stuff to make coffee. Or have you ever been out camping and nobody has anything to make coffee? Nightmare. I'll spend an hour in the morning while camping getting coffee together. So boil the water on the campfire. It's worth it. So delicious and refreshing. And I drink it black. My preferred way to drink coffee is to drink it a dark roast black. That's how I like my coffee. I can handle a medium roast if it's very, very, very hot. Light roast, not my favorite. But I'd just rather dark roast coffee. And am I a coffee snob? Yeah. I'm a coffee snob in that I like it how I like it. And I'm not gonna compromise on that necessarily. Not that I need to like buy the most expensive brand or anything like that. But I think there should be a level of like quality concerns. Maybe some people might think I'm a little coffee snobby when it comes to how we make coffee at my house, and we only do pour overs. So what does that mean? We have like a pour over contraption where basically it's like what would be happening inside of a coffee machine where you're pouring hot water over the grounds and it's just dripping directly into the cup instead. I have owned a coffee maker in my life, but doing the pour overs is so much better because I felt like I would be making like pots of coffee during the day and wasting some of it. So you don't want to like drink like super old coffee and like leave it for half the day and then drink some more of it. So even if you're just making like partial pots, like it's not like fresh and tastes good. So I prefer to just make one cup at a time, which is a bit different than other people do it. I don't get as like complicated with the method. I'll just do a simple pour over, but it is more complicated than I guess some other people do with their coffee. So what was I up to this week? Well, I had a short that I put out on my channel that did really well. I'm sure you probably saw it because it's gotten more views than anything else I've done recently, where I made that rainbow shawl with the dragonflies on it. And I hung it out to stretch out and dry, which in the lingo we would call wet blocking. I've never hung anything up to wet block it before, So I didn't have like the necessary tools, so I clipped it up and then I weighed it down with spoons, which was pretty funny. But that got 14,000 views, guys. I would like to tell you that everything that I put out has rocketing success, and that I grow my channel leaps and bounds all the time. That's just not what's going on over in this corner, okay? So it was really neat to see a short do that well. It really inspired me. So this week I did finish that shawl that took forever. It will be for sale in the next Etsy drop. If you're new here, I have an Etsy. It's linked down below. Lots of things linked down below for you to check out. My Etsy and all these other little things that are down below are ways that I support myself. And the other thing I finally finished was another shawl that I've been working on. I don't know why I decided 2 shawls at once, but I've been working on the shawl along, crochet along. So fun to say. From Bag O' Day Crochet, which is a big crochet channel here on YouTube. Amazing, amazing person. She recently hit 1 million subscribers. And she also recently put out a series of 7 videos showing you how to make a really crazy shawl. She called it Composed of Madness. And close to the end, I was like, I get it now, Crystal. I get why you called this shawl Composed of Madness, because I might be going a little mad. It worked out really well. I hope you don't mind me talking about crochet, because here we go. I really enjoyed my time working on the shawl. In fact, why don't we just take a quick field trip, and I'll put in some footage here of the shawl. Da, 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 la, da, 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 da. Ooh, it's currently drying on my blocking board, which is really fun because it's underneath my carpet. And I'd love to tell you more about that. When I got those blocking boards, if you can remember, they're just like a foam floor. So the idea the whole time was to buy them as a foam floor. I got them super cheap on clearance at Hobby Lobby. And the idea was I can just put a carpet over it, and then when I'm ready to block, I just whip up the carpet, which isn't exactly how it works, but take the carpet up, wipe it down with some cleaner, and then use the foam to block in. Blocking in crochet and knit is when you, well, in this case, wet blocking is when you wet it down and it allows the fibers in the article that you've made to breathe and stretch, and then you stretch it out and pin it into place so that when it dries it stays like that. Because when you make something in knit or crochet, it kind of takes like its natural form, and that's not always necessarily laying flat like you might need it to be. So I was super excited to block this thing, and it came out so good. Is it perfect? No. No, it's not perfect. Nothing I make is perfect. I think it would be very rare to find something without some sort of little speck of, what I would consider a mistake in it. But no, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If there's a mistake that happens where I'm like, you will be able to see that and you will be able to tell, or it affects the quality of something, I take it out and I do it again, because I don't want to sell something like that. But if it's like a mistake where, for example, sometimes your count gets off by like 1 stitch, and instead of frogging back or pulling out hours and hours and hours of work, I'm not pulling it out for 1 stinking stitch that nobody's ever gonna notice. Nobody will know. I'll forget eventually. So like, you could just add a stitch in there or just make it work. Make it work. I would change a few things about this project, in that I would maybe use a bigger hook size, make it a little bit more drapey and breathe better. I might use wool or like an animal fiber instead of using, I use like a cotton bamboo blends. I think it's all cotton and bamboo. There's one color in there that's got like a little silk in it. There's one mystery color in there where I don't exactly know what it is. I just know it's not an animal fiber. So let's cross our fingers and hope that when it comes off the pin board, it holds its shape. I'm a little nervous about that. I've just put in hours of work. I know we didn't have a hat drop last month for the Etsy shop, and just know that I'm working on things behind the scenes. Yeah, that's kind of the interesting thing. I feel like recently I've been working on a lot of things behind the scenes for the channel, and that's interesting because I always have to remind myself that if the audience, y'all, can't see it, then it doesn't really matter, does it? Like, it might look like the channel has ceased to exist, or that things aren't going on, but that doesn't mean that things are not going on in the background. If you're seeing a YouTuber not upload as often, it doesn't necessarily mean that things are bad. They might just be working on things for their channel elsewhere. That's what's going on with me. But then also, like, what I wanted to talk about, that's kind of funny that I put it that way. Like, it doesn't mean anything are bad. Like, also, I'm a person who struggles with, mental health issues, depression, OCD, all of these things, on top of being an autistic woman. So sometimes it's just hard for me. Sometimes I'm not doing that great. And I know I talked about this a few weeks ago, and I am feeling a lot better, but then other parts of me sometimes, it's not always, I'm not always feeling like a dopamine rush, sunshine, rainbows. A lot of times I'm just feeling, I don't want to say unhappy, but like, I guess I have a lot of, this really sucks because I thought about this before I came on here to talk to you. And now I'm like straight up like, I don't know what to say. I don't want to say anything that would worry anybody. When you live like with like more of a chronic type of a condition, and I'm worried about using the word chronic because I don't want people to think that there's like no treatment, right? But ongoing conditions, it's really hard. And sometimes I just don't want to do it anymore. And it's hard to talk about because I don't want people to think that, like, I'm not leaving YouTube, I'm in no danger to myself. Sometimes it's just hard to keep going. And I just find, I'm trying to think of ways to say things without getting too emotional. You know how I get. I find that I don't want to be perceived, which is not always the best when you're like doing things for the public. I just want to be alone in a corner, comfy, not being perceived. And I don't want to worry about taking care of myself or like these, real life obstacles that you have to go through. As an autistic person and a person with anxiety, I struggle sometimes to keep up with everything. And sometimes I just want to sit and just lock the world out for a bit and just wait for time to pass. I hope I'm not being too macabre or worrying anybody, because I genuinely don't want anyone to be worried. Nothing to worry about here. I'm just voicing my thoughts and feelings on a topic that I know many of you also think about and feel about. So here we are, together. Another thing I've been thinking about a lot this week is, I made a video once on my channel, it must have been years ago, where I asked, like, do I hate myself? And I've been thinking a lot this week about that. Like, is it okay to hate yourself? Is it okay to dislike who you are? I don't dislike who I am all the time, but sometimes I'm not like super happy with myself. Sometimes I don't feel good about myself. And is that okay? I think I've decided, yeah. I don't know exactly what would fix it, but I'm going to continue to work towards feeling better. I appreciate y'all letting me talk about this. Sometimes I just feel that life on the spectrum, life being autistic, as an autistic lady with an anxiety disorder, it's just too much, man. It's too much. And I just want the quiet. And I just need a little time to reset. And I'm telling you this because the point of Porch Coffee is for me to share my real life. And I know that it's helpful because sometimes, and I'm not pointing fingers, I'm not saying like this is a channel or whatever. Sometimes it's easy to think that other people don't struggle. I think when you watch people on YouTube, you're like, oh, they have it figured out. Like a glamorized picture of what everything looks like. But no. I'm a real person with real problems and real life. So I'm here with you guys. I'm sitting in it with you for sure. Sometimes I don't like myself. Sometimes I don't feel like I could do anything. Sometimes I just want to give up. And, that's just life. That's just my life. I suppose the next best thing to do would be to be like, but here are 5 tips to save you from feeling that way. But I also just want to acknowledge that sometimes it is just that way. I don't have 5 tips for you. Can we just be okay with acknowledging that sometimes it does not feel okay to be in our situation? Can we all just acknowledge that and just be okay with it for just a second? Because I just don't want to fix it all the time. I don't want to have a tip or take a step to feel better. I just want to just close my eyes and take a deep breath sometimes. I appreciate you being so kind with me right now, because I find it interesting that I sometimes, before I come on and do Porch Coffee or other videos, I'm like, here's how I'm feeling. This is what I'm going to say. And then as soon as I start talking, I'm like, just don't know how to put it into words, I guess. I feel bad. Sometimes I just want to sit and just let myself process that. And that's okay. I guess that's my base message for the day. Feel bad sometimes. That's okay. Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. Things are fine. I feel fine. Some moments I don't. Some moments are a little happier than others. In general, I don't want to be perceived. Working on that. That's it. That's the Porch Coffee. Do you understand what I'm talking about? This craving to just be alone and like let things pass and process things, and things aren't always the best, but that's just life. I hope this wasn't too much of a downer for your Monday morning. And I hope that you feel seen and recognized, and that you know that you're not alone. And I thoroughly believe that we're going to get through this together. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here next week. And if I can, I'll be here the next week. And if I can, I'll be here the next week. So you're stuck with me now, viewer. I've been filming for longer than I thought I would, so I'm going to let you guys go. I hope that you have a wonderful Monday. I hope that you feel balanced and fresh, and that you're taking time out of your week to take care of yourself, because that's the most important thing. I will see you next week, and be kind to yourself. Be nice to yourself. You're a good person. Bye!